Indoor cycling, Zwift, racing, parenting. We cover those and all of our hopes and dreams in between. Welcome to the Talk Dirty to Me podcast, an entertaining look into the lives of everyday people trying to achieve virtual cycling glory from our basements and garages from around the world. This podcast is rooted in Zwift and has evolved into found friendships, fitness, health, and a little sprinkle of humor. This may be one of the only podcasts where a little heavy breathing shouldn't scare you away, because we're riding our bikes while we're recording it.
Hello, welcome back. Today is a very special day for all of us. We're crossing some streams here, but we've got Ken, better known as the Badger, Nowell, who is one of the creators, DIRT OG, first of all, original gangster, and creators of the Never Going Pro podcast, who we all listen to. So welcome, Ken.
Thank you for that awesome introduction, Mike. Good to be here.
Yeah.
You've got a great radio voice.
That's what they tell them in the comments.
Yeah.
We posted the episode with Jay, catching up with Jay Brune.
Okay.
And some rando with an account that said like PayPal me challenge or something. It was like, your voice is magnificent. And then Bell. And I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Nice.
Whatever.
Oh,
Ding, ding,
okay.
ding.
Yeah. Like,
So he's going to
ego.
take it as not spam, but
Yeah, that's 100% legit comment. Anyway, back to you. Ken and I have had have had the honor of racing with Ken this past ZRL season. And I know Ken is fresh off of he's on his comeback from an injury. So Ken, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, man?
Yeah, sure. So I'm getting old. I'm 46 and I live in Gardner, North Carolina, Chapel Hill area, which beat Duke the other day, by the way, which is fabulous. Coach K is his last game ever. So let's see. I work for a fintech startup over in Durham, North Carolina, and I love to ride my bike. I love to hang out with my 8-year-old daughter. And dirt and Zwift has been huge for me to keep training when the weather's not good or I can't get out of the house. That's how this whole dirt thing came together. Is I kept running into Jason on these races. We chatted up and he's like, I want to form a team. I'm like, sure, I'll come along for the ride. And things just sort of happened. And I'm just getting back into like really training again. I had spinal fusion surgery about a little over a year ago. And so for the period of time leading up to that, and then after that, I couldn't do a whole lot. So it was really cool to get on the Mike Dodd's team to race with him for this past season. It was humbling.
We had a lot of fun, but yeah, we
did. We
learned
spanked
quickly we were not in contention for a lot.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
I'm still hoping Ken will come back next season and we're going to jump to Division 2, see if we can
Yeah. So
do a little damage over there.
Yeah.
see you there.
Yeah.
Nice.
When does that start?
So you're on my team. You will see me there.
Exactly. I'll see you there. I don't know what you
It starts April 5th is when it starts.
All right. So,
I love that Ken refers to you as Mike instead of Jason.
He's a
These are
very
my favorite things so far.
his
First name,
very first name. It's okay. I realized quickly I was mispronouncing his last name compared to how he pronounces it. And I always felt bad. I mispronounce a lot of things, like
that's fine.
Zamuna K. That's the most
How
famous
were you?
one, I think.
How were you pronouncing it?
Nowell,
Okay.
Yeah,
But
Knowles,
it's-
like Beyonce.
Yeah.
but it's Nowell, right?
It's Nowell. Yeah.
See, throws me off.
Yeah.
So now, obviously, you're one of the OG, as we say.
Mhm.
So you've been around since the inception.
Yes.
How did the name Badger come about?
I did I did CrossFit for a long time, and it must have been like 2010 or so. And I called myself the Badger in a workout. whatever. And then that honey badger video just went viral and the name stuck.
I had a feeling it was something to do with the honey badger.
Yeah,
Not
it
giving
is.
something. Yeah.
That and that goofy drug dealer from Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit goofy, and yeah,
That's untrue. You're completely serious all the time. I don't know.
yes.
As all of us are here, I think.
I was going to comment on the fact that you'll find that our podcast is much. What's the good word here I'm looking for, Greg?
Less useful, less informative, less
Okay.
helpful for other people.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. Yes.
It's
More-
fun
more
though.
playful.
It's fun. It is playful. It's like the banter.
Not
And,
actually researched ever.
right.
We go into the hard hitting questions like about feces, whereas
Okay.
your podcast is more about meaningful stuff and like training. Because now you co-host that with Shane and Chris, right? Shane
Yeah.
Gaffney, Chris Gorney.
Yeah, so to tell you a little about those guys, I linked up with Shane because he was writing the workouts for Zwift at the time. I guess he still is. Like, he's still a contractor for Zwift, still writes
Yeah,
workouts for
he's
him.
usually
So,
featured on their video every Monday.
okay. I didn't know that. Thanks.
The fact checking department's getting really good here. So.
yeah, definitely. It's good. And you guys
Big
really invested in the
improvements.
podcast.
We got extra interns, expanded the budget. One is much more than zero.
Yeah. And then Sterney linked me up with Chris Gorney because Chris is the guy that designed the Mustache Man logo and gave yes.
That's
And he was a contributor, and he's not much of a racer. He's got a really low profile. He's not on social media. And
I mean,
I think he was just really loving what Dirt was doing early on. Somehow he came across this. One of his friends was a big racer with us. And so him and Jason started talking. And when we started talking about wanting to do a podcast, I got in touch with him. And then the whole thing just sort of came together. Shane was the one that really got it off the ground.
Say Shane is I just listening and watching him on the Zwift. What do they call those videos that they post every Monday? You guys remember?
I don't know.
World of Zwift.
I'm not sure. I've never seen them.
yeah,
World of
Zwift
Zwift.
sounds right.
Hosted by British dude whose name I'm blanking on. But anyway,
There we go. That's our research department.
Simon Schofield.
no, it's I'll think of it in a minute. It's
Okay.
something that's not like mainstream name. Anyway, but yeah, so he has these little segments on there where he talks about the workout of the week, and it's usually something that's just absolutely torturous.
Yeah.
Sounds horrible to do, but fits into a theme of whatever ride is featured that week. But anyway, now
Does Chris know that we have our very own Mustache Man logo here in the podcast?
I did not know that. Well, he doesn't know that. He's hardly on the internet at all.
Greg recreated
Yes.
very well the
I will-
Mustache Man
I will
logo.
add in that
cool.
photo, Greg, if you
Oh gosh, thanks.
so choose. If he's okay
that's
with
fine.
it.
You guys
That's
didn't
pretty
know
awesome.
that Greg was the model for that?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
False.
Yep.
Listen, I just grew a big
research
meaty
department
mustache in
told me.
November,
Big mustache.
and then
put a helmet
and then
on.
they
put some
said,
glasses on.
"Hey, put a helmet and glasses on." I was like, "Okay."
He's like, I am your monkey. Let me dance for you.
Yeah.
Uh,
How high, master?
so, Ken, your background is in mostly mountain biking, right?
Yes, I did quite a bit of road riding, and then when my daughter was born, it was just hard to get out on the group rides. My wife's a personal trainer, and she was a CrossFit coach at the time, and so she had to work on Saturday morning, and one of us had to be at home with our daughter. So that's when the big group ride was every week. So shortly after my daughter was born, I decided to invest in a race-worthy XC bike, and then that following year, 2014, is when I really started digging into racing. A couple years later, I got into Zwift. I had a elbow tendonitis and had a procedure done on my left elbow and couldn't ride the mountain bike per doctor's orders for like 6 months. And so,
Doctors.
Yeah. What do they know? And so
Not much.
it led me to Zwift.
There you go. Silver lining, right?
Wait, so when
Yes.
did you start Zwifting then?
Oh, God. It must have been, I think my
Gotta
first
be
ride
early.
was in November or December 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. That sounds about right. And it's funny because I went back through and looked through Zwift Power to see when my first race with Sterney was. And I mean, it was one of the very first events I ever did.
Nice.
We didn't chat until one day we were on a race that went up Epic KOM, and we stuck together most of the time. I ended up dropping him, and then but he got me on. He beat me by like 2 minutes because I did not know how to descend and stand a pack.
I'm sure that the draft dynamics were all different back then. And
Yeah, well, he's always just super smooth and good at
it's
serving
so true.
energy. Yeah.
Having raced, you and I raced against him in the Division 1. It's like, I'd see him for, the lead out to the first sprint or first segment, and then he'd be on the back. I'd be right there next to him, and then gone.
Yep. So what I was doing at the time is I would go into the Zwift companion app. We're about the same size, and I would look at his profile in real-time wattage and just try to match it.
Huh.
Because what I was noticing after every ride is that his wattage was like 10, 20% lower than mine every single time. And I was like, all right, there's some efficiency gains to be made here.
This is Sully's area of expertise. He learned everything he knew from everything he knows from Sterney, right?
Sterney
Sure.
and Sebastian.
Yeah. So drafting is so key.
Yeah. So I've got a question for you guys. How did Eat Dirt come about? How long has it been around? I was on the down low at that time.
He was off grid, if you will.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Sully, you have to take this one.
Yeah, I started doing TTT. Greg, I think, had joined us for like a week. The first TTT World Championships
As
was
D's,
around that.
right?
As
D's.
D's. Correct. Greg was a D for
D's
like
nuts.
8 seconds, and then
I was a D for 3 races.
Okay.
he was always promoting ahead of the rest of us. Anyway, we organized the team for World Championships, and our Mocha strategy had been like hang on to the C's, and so we
Okay.
just started wondering if there was like a better way to do it. So I said, "Hey, Greg, like let's start our own team," and then from there it was like no other new teams were starting. People kept promoting, and we just started saying yes to everybody in recruiting, and it just kind of it was so impactful for us that we just wanted to create space for more people.
Yeah. No, I think it's good that there's been sort of these divisions or factions, if you will,
Of dirt.
that have,
Clans.
yeah, because it just got
Clans.
sprawling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Sully downplays that during this time of saying yes to everyone, Sully was also out there
Recruiting.
messaging everyone in a race. I mean, that's how he recruited me. I think I was riding a herd Monday morning ride or something, and he was like,
Okay.
"Hey, you want to ride TTT?" I was like, "Sure. What is it?" and then after we made Eat Dirt, it seems like every week Sully's like, "Hey, I found 4 more guys." We're like, "Oh, cool, okay." And then it just kept getting bigger and bigger.
Ballooning. The cat gifts got out of control.
There's also, this is a small teaser, but I found it, I don't know, weeks ago. There was a conversation between Sully and Coleman and I, and this is when we were switching up from, I think, 3 teams to 4, like squads of guys. And Coleman was like, "Sully, what's the upper limit of this?" And Sully was like, "I don't know. I don't think there is one." And I think Coleman was understandably very concerned that we might outgrow ourselves, but
Right.
Now we're up to 8 teams.
Up to eight squads worth of
Nice.
We may end up needing more. I don't know. We'll see.
folks. See.
Yeah.
I stopped recruiting, so
But Brasta took over on that one.
Yeah.
He's just recruiting
Well,
all
that's
eight.
just it. New guys would come in and then sort of want to bring everyone they knew in, and so it's TTT mostly.
yeah, it's kind of gone to people coming in either through friends or referrals or zero.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Do you, Badger, do you align with a specific faction? I mean, obviously us,
here's the
because
strange
it's the time,
thing.
right?
Right. I needed to get back to getting on the bike early in the morning again and just having some consistency in my training. And it was really hard to wake up that early. And I can't remember how I linked up with you guys, but I think I either reached out to Jason or somebody else, and they're like, all right, we're going to get you linked up. And I was added onto your team, which is like huge. I don't think you guys know what that did for me, because having been so long since I had done any competitive Zwift racing, it was intimidating. I didn't know where I was going to fall. I didn't know how much things had changed. I didn't know how the power-ups had changed, the draft, all of this stuff. And had just had no race rhythm at all when we first got started.
Yep.
And so I didn't feel judged. I felt welcomed. We had a great time, even though we did terrible. What did we get,
We were
like
third.
13th
Yeah,
out
we
of
were like
16?
third from last, but man, do we have a good time.
Oh, we did.
Ken and I,
The one that
Yeah,
really,
with Maddie.
yeah, the one that really got.
where we had the ghosts and the
thinking-
sprint. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, I was thinking of the one where we went up that epic KOM. I was like, I had just hit a brand new power PR, like 20-minute power lifetime PR the other day. And those are always the races I did best in. I ended up getting a PR on like everything and still came in like 60th place for that second.
Do you remember? That's the race that I got. I think I got like 6th fastest on the sprint, and then my Bluetooth cut out completely. Yeah, so I got no points.
That sucks. It sucks.
I thought you got the points back for the sprint.
I think I did. I think they gave them to me, but I didn't finish the race.
Yeah.
That happened to me. They gave me half points for the sprint. I was like, thanks, guys. Those
Sucks.
3 points are going to be awesome.
That's exactly how many
Greg.
points I got. Was 3.
Greg, you got sprint points?
Oh,
proud of
wow.
you.
Last season. Yeah.
from
Thanks,
not
bud.
riding.
The funny thing is, when I started watching pro cycling on TV, when they would talk about climbers, I just figured a climber is a climber, whether it's a 100-foot climb or 3,000-foot climb. And it's just not the case. And so that Climber's Gambit is an interesting circuit in that they have these short VO2 max effort climbs where these bigger, stronger guys can do just fine. And I couldn't make it over those hills with them. And then just trying to claw my way back on the longer climb. So once I got blown out in that first effort, I was just like, the hell with this. I'm going to soft pedal until I get to
give it. Yeah.
the big climb. It's just go for it.
Sully might tell you it's important to know the finish line of those shorter climbs.
I think that's a subtle reference to him not knowing where he was on the course.
Me not
Yeah.
telling him.
Yeah. Where's the finish on this
Going
thing?
up Titans Grove.
How important,
So-
Drew? I think I got second.
You did. That's second.
Humble brag.
But Sully's flying up the climb and goes, I don't see a banner. Where is the finish? I was like, rocks. Look for rocks.
Yeah, I think
I
Such a great
prepared
landmark.
a little bit better for B races than C races.
well, originally he wasn't going to race C at all, but anyway. Yeah, I think Ken, to that note, I think like personally, those shorter, like the Titan forward and all that, I treat them more of like a sprint because I'll just like hang with the pack. Obviously, if the pack's going like 6, I'm probably not going to be there with them. But like this past weekend, we did the Clash of Clans.
Okay.
And I was in the they did half categories for that, so I was in the B- or B, not B+.
Right.
And I'd say the pack was pretty relaxed on the the initial part of the climb, and then you get to that last hairpin, and it's like everybody's sprinting. So I think I hit like 10 watts per kilo on that last hairpin.
Yikes.
And got like third or fourth or something. So
yeah,
on that KOM, but
yeah. That's
if
awesome.
you aren't doing anything Sunday, you should.
Well, I treat it like a sprint too, but still,
you have to have the
doesn't
right.
matter.
If they're going 6 watts per kilo at the bottom, you're like, yeah, that's not hanging.
Yeah, this isn't gonna happen.
Yeah, if you're not doing anything Sunday, we could use you.
I think Ken
Well,
did the first one, right?
I did, and then it was a really nice weekend. Oh no, I remember. I had to get up at 4:30 in the morning and take my daughter to a swim meet out of town.
Yep.
And then this time of year, it's really hit or miss with the weather. If it's wet and rainy and cold, then I'm going to ride Zwift. Otherwise, I'm going to be outside on my mountain bike. And the weather's not looking promising for outdoor riding this weekend. So send me an invite.
We'll get to it. I think
keep you in the loop.
I've got a hall pass for Sunday again, so we're good. It's usually it's a little later. Nice. It starts at 7 for me. That's usually like the kids are up, time to make breakfast, that sort of thing. But I told my wife I gotta represent the team, so she's giving me the go. Yeah,
it's important. It's important. Yeah.
Well,
gotta ride my bike with my virtual friends.
That's right. We're not virtual anymore. We're all real.
No, we're all real.
I've seen them.
Sully actually did
have a real friend. The rest of you guys are.
Sully actually met someone in real life this weekend.
He did.
Oh, who was it?
Kelsey Really.
Occasional
whole families, kids,
Sheriff Really.
Kids, grandparents, everybody.
Nice.
Oh, dang.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
There was lots of pizza.
I've met the only two that I've met in person are Casey Ferguson and I did a 100-miler in Virginia with Patrick Wells.
Oh, yeah.
And
you know Patrick.
And maybe one other guy. I can't remember his name, but he's kind of like a low profile. And then Pete Mardoza, I think his family lived in the Raleigh area, and we went mountain biking one day. That was pretty cool.
I've only met one. It's Scotty K.
Oh, yeah.
We went gravel riding together. Yeah.
Ooh, fun.
And I think Drew's met a couple, right?
Yeah.
I met a few.
Not me, Drew.
Ross there. I was 15 miles from Sully in Florida. Didn't meet him.
All because he didn't want to drive an expensive car.
Yeah, shame.
Didn't want to drive the expensive car.
Didn't want to
Drew,
dig
driving a $120,000 car is a perk. It's a feature, not a bug.
So
it was.
You're in.
Actually, the funniest thing, the closest person that I live to is probably Bonica.
Bonica. Anyway. Steve Bonica.
Do your in-laws listen to this podcast also, Drew? Or just your mom?
No.
Okay.
As far as I know, not.
Drew's mom is 30% of our female audience. So we always try to.
Ken goes, okay.
Drew's mom. Speaking of audiences, so the podcast that you guys do, I listened to. I think you guys are on season 4.
We're on season 4.
Episode 2.
Which is completely arbitrary. Uh-huh.
How do you guys break down your seasons? I'm curious.
All right, so basically life gets in the way and we just can't get together. And some of the things that have happened in the last couple of years as well, the pandemic, I've changed careers.
Chris moved twice.
Yeah, he moved twice. He moved once to like the mountains in Northern California, and then he moved to Bentonville, Arkansas, which makes me totally jealous. Believe it or not, it's like the mountain bike capital of the country. And
Kelso lives. Kelso,
there,
who Sully just met, lives nearby.
Yeah. He tells us like every week. Y'all should come here. It's amazing.
I get.
He tells us every week about how he does it mountain bike.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the trail coordinator for some local trails, and the dinosaur land manager is just combative. He's an asshole. So like, I would love to just have one person around here as the land manager that had half the vision of those folks in Bentonville.
Yeah.
Shane stays very busy with his business, Zwift Consulting, and his daughter was born with cytomegalovirus, CMV.
Yeah.
And he's very involved in that foundation. And she had some serious health issues and a couple of scares in the last couple of years. And he couldn't give anything to the podcast at the time.
Yeah, understandable.
But yeah, things are pretty smooth right now. So we've recorded 3, 2 are already post-production. They're up and live. The third one, I messaged the guys yesterday. I'm like, well, we recorded it like 3 weeks ago. Are we going to post it? Nobody replied. So, that's just kind of how we roll.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because, like, at this point, we don't stress about it at all. It's a hobby. It's a way for the 3 friends to talk together and to get together and also talk about something interesting. And we've always gotten good feedback. It feels good for other people like you.
Yeah. I know I've listened to, I think it was the first episode of this most recent season. And I messaged you, and it was weird listening about it. And it was talking about motivation, and you were talking about your goals for this season. And
yeah.
And, I'm curious to hear your take on, like, after the ZRL season's done, all your details. But I don't want to take that from your podcast, so we'll stick to stupider things here.
Yeah. So what I've really been sort of thinking about is forming the DIRT Podcast Network.
Ooh. Yeah.
Some synergy,
the DPN.
Maybe we could. Well, I mean, I really would love to make some money. I haven't made shit. That's why I'm using this $40 Amazon microphone.
It sounds
great,
Ken.
Good.
Yeah, let's do it. We're all going to be rich. So as far as goals are going, it's been around November 1st, things just like snapped, and I'm in full motivational training mode. And it's just been go, go, go ever since. And we finished the ZRL season, and this week is a recovery week. I'm just really taking it easy doing rides like this, if anything at all, and getting some extra sleep. And then I need to dig into some specific stuff, to boost up my aerobic capacity and repeatability for hard efforts. But the base is there. Base is good. I'm trying to get 450 hours this year of riding and about 100 hours of lifting. So in other words, 2 weightlifting sessions a week and riding about 9 hours a week. So like that is something that I can usually do without sacrificing my quality of life or my family's quality of life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a key point for all of us, is trying to balance all that, which can get difficult at times, for sure.
Very. And being able to just let it go when this isn't going to happen.
Yeah. I have a hard time with that personally, but it won't kill you. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, back surgery just changed everything. Because
How did you injure your back?
A little more. No one really knows for certain, but at some point I broke my back and didn't know it.
Wow.
And I think it must have happened about 20 years ago snowboarding, because I went in, they put like little dots on your back when they give you those steroid injections. And she put these 2 little dots. I'm like, holy cow, that's where my back hurt after that snowboarding crash. I was like walking around hurt for weeks or months. I don't even remember. But I mean, I just figured if you knew your back, like this isn't something you could possibly not know, And so just slowly over time, my spine shifted backwards. Like one vertebrae slid over the other one, so that they were only overlapping like 50%, and it crushed the disc, and I got a bunch of arthritis in there, and it started pushing out into the nerves. And the crazy thing is my back never hurt. That was my leg. My left leg hurt so bad. And both of my feet were numb, like they've been falling asleep. Once I got out of bed.
Wow.
Once I got off my feet, it was okay again. But I mean, not being able to feel your feet, or only having about 20% sensation in my feet for like 6
really?
months. I was like, it was a quality of life thing. I didn't need the surgery to, survive or whatever, but I was kind of disabled.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it all worked out well. You got feeling back, and
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I lost a little feeling in my left heel after surgery that hadn't been a problem before, because they're like using hooks and moving nerves and stuff. But everything else is so much better that I can live with that. And I get weird, like, cramps in my left calf and hamstring. They'll just completely lock up, and it feels like it's going to tear the muscle off the bone. When I do like certain things. So for instance, like I couldn't like sit on my knees in an upright position, like a yoga pose or something. That's just not gonna happen. We'll lock up.
Is that you had a green bottle there? I thought that was Mountain Dew.
I was just going to say, please be casually drinking Mountain Dew.
It's infamous. Yeah.
I'll do pizza.
Oh God. I didn't like Mountain Dew before that stunt, and I've had maybe like 2 sips of Mountain Dew in the 4 years or so since I did that, and it's completely unpalatable.
So, the reference there is that the Alp de Pizza, right?
Yes.
Which give us the breakdown of what the rules are.
We were looking for ways to promote dirt early on. This must have been, I don't know, maybe February 2018 or something like that, or 19, whatever. And I was doing these videos and putting them up on YouTube, and I was like, you know what? We should do this live stream where I try to do a sub-hour Alp attempt by eating a large pizza and drinking nothing but Mountain Dew. We'll call it Alp Dew Pizza. And Jason's like, man, are you sure about that? I was like, no, but let's do it anyway,
Content is content.
I was so nervous. I mean, so I decided to do it on a Sunday night so we could get like maximum family
viewership
to watch on the live stream. And I was just like nervous all weekend long. It kind of ruined my weekend. And I felt I did not feel good for days after that.
I could see why.
Body was probably like, what just happened to me?
Oh my God. You know how like after you eat a big meal, you kind of want to pass out, but you can't because you're so caffeinated?
So what kind of pizza
was me.
it? Domino's?
It was a large Domino's cheese pizza. We wanted it to be repeatable. Right. This is scientific, like we wanted it to anyone in America and maybe other countries could try this and challenge me. Yes. And I guess sometime last year, Jason Muchler, I did it in like 59 minutes and 50 seconds. The problem was like I still had pizza to eat, so I stopped before that last ramp across the finish line. And I'm just sitting there just shoving pizza in my mouth and pouring water all over the box so it could like soften up the crust, because that was all that was left is crust. And I'm just gobbling this stuff down, and I just barely made it over the line in time. And then Jason Muchler comes along, 2-3 years later. He does the Alp ascent, and like, first of all, he finished the entire pizza by like the 6th switchback. And then finished the entire climb in like 47 minutes.
Blew it out of the water.
It was insane.
You went for the shock and awe effect.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think he went out and like did some chores with his family, like.
I think if I remember, he cut his pieces even smaller. Wasn't that like his tactic? Because he had like these really skinny little pieces, so he just kind of grabbed them and like,
yeah. He may have done that.
Good tactic.
Because what I did is I told them don't cut the pizza. Like when I ordered it, I was like the special order, and I cut it into 21 pieces for the 21 switchbacks. Yeah.
It's all about the mental game, right?
But that's right. And I have no intent of ever trying to steal that.
You did
back.
it, so it's done.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Now, I'd love to see one of you try it.
Podcast episode.
Not me.
Yeah.
So
So there was an inspiration for this. Every year at NC State in Raleigh, which is about a half hour from me, they do this Krispy Kreme challenge where they run from they've got like a bell tower or some kind of spire on campus. And they run from there to Krispy Kreme. You got to eat a dozen donuts and run back. And apparently there's stories about just like the whole course just covered in vomit, you know?
this does
And I
sound
was
like a
like-
Sully option to me. I'm just saying.
Maybe we could do that. And here's the funny thing. Matt Gardner from
Yeah.
Sarah Snow Pens, he said he was going to do it with me and eat a dozen donuts. And when it came time, it was crickets.
Yeah.
So Matt, if you're listening,
Not
I think
Challenge is
Jay
on.
Brune. Jay did like a Krispy Kreme mile or something like that, wasn't it? He has the T-shirts for Bruce.
Who did?
Jay.
Jay Brune.
Jay did?
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll have to confirm.
is that where you like stop every lap?
There's something,
eat a
yeah.
donut.
There's something like run a
Eat a
mile, eat a
donut.
donut, something like that. However many
Yeah, I
miles,
could
how many
do-
donuts.
See, the first challenge for me on the Alpta pizza would be getting up in an hour. That's the first challenge.
Yeah. That's not happening.
Now,
Yeah, you guys can do that.
I could. Yeah.
I'll pace you.
I was going to have Craig Sturgeon, one of our other Eat Dirt friends. He was going to pace me up the most recent Rafa climbing
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I had just done the team time trial the day before with a much faster team than what I was used to. And my legs were trash. I was like, nope, not today.
It's hour
So-
up. Hour up the Alp is only like 3.334.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's averaging 3.2, right?
Yeah.
But that's 3.334 for an
Yeah,
hour,
You both can do that.
not 20 minutes. That's
You can do it for 20 minutes.
So here's what you do. Like, yeah, what I did, if I remember correctly, is I used my Garmin or whatever head unit and used my average power and just went up it a couple times to see. It's like, okay, I need to hold 225 watts for an hour. And that was doable. I came into it lean. I was like 150 pounds when I did that
You had to
ride.
be hungry.
Good for you. You say, no wonder the Alpha
Yeah.
pizza sounded so good.
he starved himself for weeks
Yeah.
beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but fueling that day, it's like you don't want to
Yeah.
eat too much, but you also
Right,
have to have
sure.
the energy to do the ride.
You don't want the
It's
garbage.
just like,
in
what do you
either.
Pizza won't be immediately accessible? What are you talking about?
Right.
Right.
Just all oatmeal. No chewing. Just
Yeah.
Right down the gullet.
take it in.
Just
It's like the stuff they feed them in
Yep.
was it Alien,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the gruel.
The Matrix, yep.
Yeah,
or
there
the
you go.
Matrix
That's good.
that
That's good.
slops they eat in the
Necessary
bowl.
Vitamins and amino acids.
Tastes like steak.
Yeah.
I guess erg mode is cheating, right? For sub-hour Alpha.
Well,
Yeah, if you're doing
I
the
don't
work.
know. I mean, you still got to do the work. I think I turned my trainer difficulty
that
down
makes
to like
sense.
10%.
That'll help.
So
You don't want to be shifting a whole bunch and hopping out of the
there's not a
saddle.
whole lot of
Yeah.
shifting. Yeah. But there's some other ideas, there you could do like a dozen atomic Buffalo Wild Wings up
Yeah, I
a
could do
shorter
that.
climb.
Can we have a poop
Epic.
channel too? Are you aware of this? Because that's what I would be
A
in
poop
pain.
channel. Yeah. Yeah, you'd pay
Yeah.
for that twice.
Eating them would be the first battle. The second battle is when they come out.
Epic Buffalo Wild Wings Challenge Part
Yes.
1.
I could do like
Yeah.
an epic donut climb.
Just
Could probably
saying,
get my head
I'd
around
do
that.
that before I did all
All right.
pizza.
Here it is.
Yeah, epic donut. climb.
Epic KOM, as many donuts as you can eat in that time frame.
Oh,
Yeah, but then you've got to get some additional number of points per donut. I mean, it's like the donut derby, right?
right. You get
Right.
Right. You get
there
a
used to be
time
a
bonus.
scoring system.
For
Yeah.
each donut, you get a second off
That's
your
the
time.
For about 10
5
minutes on the Eat Dirt Discord, there was talk of doing a banana
Oh.
challenge,
Mhm.
banana peanut butter challenge. I cannot tell you how glad I am that died. It was
What?
Sprint.
Well, what
So
was
I think
it?
Walt Flood had a lot to do with it, but it was basically a sprint off, and you had to eat as many
No.
bananas and
It
as much
was-
peanut
Well,
butter.
one was a scoop of peanut butter.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It wasn't you had to eat. It was like you had to get as many bananas into your body as you could.
Yeah.
You didn't have to eat them.
It was, what was the course? I can't remember the course, but it was one with plenty of sprints, and then I think it was
It was Richmond
immediately
Flats.
after the sprint. Immediately after the sprint, you had to eat a banana and a scoop of peanut butter. I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
Because we were all talking about the recovery is going to be interesting.
Because you got a mouthful of peanut butter.
Peanut butter
and
and
you're
the
trying
banana.
to suck in wind. Yeah,
No.
you're like,
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, it's just
Disclaimer,
like trying
we
to
don't
find
encourage
a challenge that is the right course,
that. Yep.
the right food. That's going to bring back that original magic.
Chasing
Yeah.
chasing
It's
the
like-
dragon at
But-
Swift.
it's
yeah,
it's to the line, but not over it, right?
yeah,
It's like
And
12
so the-
donuts, but not 13. Not a
right,
baker's dozen.
yeah. And the idea behind that was like, we're going to do this to attract members. And it worked. Like Eric Schlang put it on Zwift Insider. It got out on our different Zwift social media channels. And it definitely attracted new members. And one guy, you know how there's a bunch of just stupid comments in Zwift riders?
Always, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Somebody posted, "Is this really the way forward for Zwift?"
I hope somebody answered yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Swift
Dirt
HQ was
was-
handing me the pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I think what people fail to forget, and especially around the dirt community, is that we're all still 14, 15-year-old boys trapped in
Oh,
adult
absolutely.
bodies,
Yep.
trying
Yeah.
to think of stupid things to do every day.
Well, yeah, my wife is like, "Well, what do you guys talk about? You talk about your kids?"
Sometimes.
We're like, no.
5% of the time, it's about something.
If the
not
topic
related to-
arises, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they come up when we have to get off the bike for them. We gotta go. It's gotta eat.
So I think, not to draw attention, because I don't want to spook him, but I think Sully may be racing.
Yes. I think
Are
it's
you really
the crit.
Give me a head nod if you're racing.
Yeah. Are you also
Yes.
racing, Drew?
No, I am not. I bombed out of that race. I'm not,
Coward.
I never started it, but
Did you say you're in
So-
first? He's never in first unless it's at the line.
right.
So, Dot, I see you have steering enabled on your little thingy.
Oh, my
You had, like,
uterus?
the wheel.
It kind of looks like a uterus wrapped in a circle.
Oh, that's actually
Yeah, it does.
very true.
Yeah,
You got the uterus power up.
I do. Gives me the ability to hold a tiny baby while I ride.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it tossed baby avatars at the riders behind you, kind of like bananas.
It does, and then they have to get off their bike to take care of the baby. So it's
Yes.
a win.
Yes. Feed the baby.
You're out
before you
for
get back
6
on.
years, sucker.
No babies were harmed in the filming of this podcast.
That's correct. We interviewed Fremont Latimer
Okay.
2 weeks ago.
Last week,
Or no, it was last week, but we had an episode
Yep.
between. Yeah, and he was telling us about his safe word. Him and his wife did an adventure race, and so they would. He said he walked slow, so his wife, if they wanted to walk faster without saying, "Hey, you need to walk faster," we're like losing pace, they would just say pineapple. So pineapple is like, you got to go faster.
Yeah.
And I was telling my wife the story, and she's like, that would be hilarious. Just random people hearing you go, pineapple, 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 pineapple. So my question is, my question is, what's your safe word?
That's,
Oh my gosh. I can never remember, which is what gets me in so much trouble.
So
Stop.
don't do that.
Dude, don't do that.
Your full name. Yeah, I get the Michael. Yeah. No, we were discussing ours is watermelon, just because of
Okay.
an old story, but we use it like if we're in a store and we see somebody we don't want to interact with, Or like watermelon, aisle 3, watermelon. Which is weird because there's no watermelon on aisle 3 ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, does it need to be like store specific, aisle specific?
Yeah.
Or maybe just like a bird call.
Yes.
The old cuckoo.
Animal noises. Yeah. There you go.
Over here.
It's a little Three Amigos reference there, right? Sully's going to speak.
Yeah, that was too fast, Dad.
Too fast? Was it too furious, too?
Yeah.
Too much pineapple.
How many Vin Diesels were there?
I don't know.
Too many.
Too many. Not enough.
Well, I think we're getting close to the point where Greg likes to enlighten us every
Give me
week.
30 more seconds.
So we. Oh, 30 more
Segment
seconds.
time.
Oh, he's in his VO2 right now.
Are you doing a training workout, erg mode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was I just finished the fourth
Now we're just going to focus on his
set of
suffering.
VO2s. The first
Over-under.
two were nice and easy. Number 4, less fun.
We had that discussion the other day. Would you rather do short over-unders or long blocks?
Yeah, Ken, what do you think? Short over-under thresholds, or you rather do like sweet spot for 30 minutes?
Oh boy, probably the like short over unders. I've always, I was doing Trainer Road there for a while. They had this one that was whatever, these 20-second sprints or something, or 10-second sprints. It was like 40, 50 of them, a bunch. And those I never had nearly as much trouble with as doing just these flat, like 20 minutes sweet spot times 2 or 3. Those are just terrible.
For me, I think it's a mental thing. Because like, even if you're getting a small break, you're getting a tiny little break.
Exactly.
But if you got just one solid block.
Like the courses in TTT, when you do get a super tuck, you're like, thank God for that.
Yeah, oh,
well,
I know. It's like heaven.
Even in TTT, you get a little bit of a break whenever you're not pulling.
Yeah, and you get in the draft.
Which, Ken, if you want to get into some higher level VO2 stuff, come get on the TTT with us, man.
We got a spot for tomorrow morning there, Ken, if you're looking for hex. Trying to catch this other team called Balls.
He's on recovery.
There's so much FOMO with the rest.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, come on, there's like 100 races a day. No.
I'm also on a recovery week, but they can tell you my recovery weeks are not very effective.
Mildly recoverable.
I still do Thursday time trial. I'll still do Sunday. No, whatever. All right, Greg.
So I'll probably like cut my hours in half and skip lifting. Yeah, I mean, I got to the point where I just like I don't really want to ride my bike. For a little while, and then it comes back fast. Like I don't need much of a break, but I do need a little bit of a break.
I was saying this to, I guess, Dodd the other day. Like I'm just itching to get outside. I live in New York.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's been cold, and even like on a nice day, if there's even a little bit of moisture, there's salt on the road. I don't want that anywhere near the bike.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Just dying to get outside, though.
It was like 75 last week here, and I was working.
It's the worst.
Where are you?
I'm in Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah, which is probably close to like latitude of where you're at, maybe a little bit further south.
Yeah, I definitely think it may be colder. You get like lake effect, cold weather coming down.
Yeah, we get. I mean, it's chilly in the wintertime for sure. I think February is usually our coldest month, which in most places it is, I'm sure. But it's it gets down to like maybe 20, 30 recently. Not too bad. We had ice. That sucked.
Too bad.
Yeah.
All right.
What you got, Greg?
I got about 30 seconds to bring us in, and then you guys can chat for a bit while I gasp for air. But we're coming right back to shit Miller said this week.
Suck it, Miller.
Where we recap the mostly stupid things that came out of Keith Miller's mouth or Discord keyboard. And
Do we have time for this? I don't know if we have
Well,
enough
I
time.
mean, there's just so much. So basically,
you were gonna bring,
pick
like,
your
a sign,
favorite stupid
like a-
things.
some kind of help.
I think one of my favorites. He posted that excellent giant face sunglass. Somebody was advertising on Facebook. It's sunglasses that's a Cobra Commander shield. I like that very much.
Yes.
He posted pictures of the women in his life doing more work than he does on his house. And then proceeded to mock International Women's Month, which is spot on for Keith. And finally, I should at least acknowledge that I think he's been on the bike for like 42
Yeah, 44, 42 or 43 maybe
Days straight.
days in a row.
and recently took his trainer.
He even went so far as
Here, you go ahead because
Yeah.
I'm in
He went on the
interval
road.
now.
yeah, you focus on training. We'll take it from here.
But the realization that I had, I think, after we recorded last week, that Keith Miller is in line to get a championship helmet for ZRO.
Because he rode with you
He
guys.
rode with Crack of Dawn one race.
Oh no,
Unbelievable.
the world
Yep.
is ending.
He will get a helmet.
He took his trainer on the road with him, so he's on a
Yes,
work
he did.
trip right now, and he successfully rode yesterday. I don't know, he may be riding right now.
Unknown.
My favorite thing, personally, this week that he did was probably just in discussion in his, personalized channel that was made for him, so he could have some accountability. He said something about getting bibs. Oh, it was Alan
Yeah.
Fisher had talked about he's ex-military and he has U.S. MES bibs that have like fit for duty, fit for life on the bands around the leg. And he's like, I was saying how he's not military anymore, so it's like I try not to wear those. And then I said we could get you ones that have Keith Miller's face printed on them around the band, so every time you look down, you see Miller's face mocking you. And then Miller's suggestion was we put that on the butt of the bib. And I was like, oh. He's like, so that way every time you get up and sprint off somebody, all I see is his face.
Well, so here's what you do. Like, you put his face sideways where the mouth is right across the butt crack, so it looks like it's
And the tongue is out.
yapping.
Tongue is out slightly to the
Yeah.
side. I think it's genius.
I was gonna say it's a great
I was
design.
gonna,
Yeah.
I was gonna get with Sturny and see
He
if
would
we
sell
could get that
threes of bibs.
working. Dozens. All of our
On
listeners
Keith.
would have them.
That's awesome.
And the best part
There
about
it is.
this segment is that I now have a new soundbite from last week that I can
Yeah.
affix
Plug
to
right
the
in.
to the graphic,
Yeah.
which you'll have
Nice.
to. It's a good one. I don't want to spoil it. Not everybody's caught up, so not that they would be spoiled by a future episode. Getting in a time warp.
Never know.
It could send them back to the Jay Bruno episode.
Please reference episodes 2 and
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
Nice. So, what episode is this one?
Is going to be 16. Yeah,
Nice.
which is
Nice.
weird. I was going to mention that to these guys. Is like, can you believe we've kept this going for probably more likely 13 weeks or 14 weeks? But
Honestly,
That's awesome.
that's
recording
Yeah.
it on the bike at a regular time.
Yeah. I mean, what really seems to be pushing it along is, one, doing it when you're on the bike, which is something you're going to do anyway, and two, having
And
no standards.
Always inviting
and
guests.
and zero.
Yeah.
We learned quickly it's much easier when there's guests. Otherwise, it's just like
Yes.
the four of us talking about how we're trying to goad Sully into racing, and it just gets ugly. We've had many episodes like that.
Storytelling, rather than just all banter,
Yeah.
is our sweet spot, I think.
Yeah.
Interjections of banter, but overall story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I think someone tell their story. It's great.
So Drew likes to give us a little. Oh, what was that? A couple weeks back, Drew told us that he had not watched any of the Marvel movies. Ken, if you can imagine that.
Ooh.
So on
Yeah.
Saturdays, we like to do a little long ride early in the morning, and Drew's been watching and getting caught up on those. So most recently, you watched Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's correct. Yeah, last weekend was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, you can do a watch
Yeah, you
party
can.
now with
you
Netflix,
can
and that would be cool because
get a little feedback.
I mean, I've seen a few Marvel movies here and there over the course of time, but we started going through them like deliberately. My whole family would watch them on Friday night. We watch like 20 of them now.
It's the way to do it. I mean, I sit
Yeah.
there and I message these guys whenever I'm watching them a Saturday morning because I'm watching for the first time and they're kind of rewatching with me, so they're not actually watching. And,
Yeah.
it's fun.
I would argue I'm
Yeah.
probably the most vested in his enjoyment of it, but
Yeah.
Greg's a close second.
Yeah.
Equally interested.
Yeah.
Tell us about your experience this week, Drew.
Guardians of the Galaxy was the last of the rewatches. So I had seen it previously. I guess it came out, 2010 or so, 2009, 2010.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I had seen it back then when it came out on streaming. So it was good to kind of rewatch it. And again, like now within the context of movies that I've seen,
Yeah.
a lot of it made sense. The Collector made sense, things like that. And as always, the Stanley sighting with him being called a Class A pervert by Rocket on Sandarian.
I forgot about that one.
That's a good one. Kind of one of those shocking
Yeah.
ones where you listen to Rocket speak and you don't realize at first that it's Bradley Cooper. And I was like, man, there's a lot of, that was another one where when I watched Thor, it was kind of surprising the number of A-list actors that they got for that one. This was another one where Chris Pratt wasn't really Chris Pratt at that point yet when
Correct.
that movie came out. This kind of made him. But
Well, he was still himself. He
yes,
did, but he wasn't the version of himself that you're alluding to.
yes, exactly. he was known as Andy from Parks and Rec at that point. But so that was kind of cool to see. Vin Diesel as Groot. Didn't realize that. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's like, did he really need to pay Vin Diesel for that?
I think, if
Do a
I'm
green
not
suit?
mistaken, I think they initially hired him for that voice acting job with the anticipation that he would be a actual actor for another character.
Yeah.
But that hasn't come to fruition yet. So
Either way, I love Groot. I thought Groot was awesome. And then obviously you had Batista. as
Drax.
So it was good. It was funny for me because I guess now everybody knows who Thanos is. I remember watching that the first time, having no history with comic books. I was like, who the hell is this guy, Thanos? What is his story, and why are we not getting more into that?
It's like, why is Grimace in the
Yeah.
post-credit scene?
Who is this purple dude? Why is he supposed to be so scared? But so it was a good movie.
What did you think of the
It was-
soundtrack?
That was what I was gonna say. It's like you prepared me for the soundtrack. It was good. It was,
Yeah,
it was
quality
awesome. I
stuff.
did. I checked it out afterwards, and a lot of the songs are on there, which is cool that they got the rights for. And this weekend we got Guardians 2.
That's crazy.
Party continues.
Nice. So are you watching them in the order in which they were
Timeline
released
order.
or timeline order?
So Disney Plus.
That's what we're
An
doing.
awesome thing where they have them in phases, but also timeline order. So, it's
Which
been cool.
they have. I don't know, Ken, if you're a Star Wars fan, they have a similar how you should watch the Star Wars episodes.
Yeah.
What order is that?
Huh. Nice.
Well, so this is a bit
Per
of a
Disney,
tangent, but
I would like to know.
related, right? The order that I've heard that you watch them is you watch Star Wars,
Sure.
the first one, right, episode 4, and then you go to Return of the Jedi. No, I'm sorry, Empire, right? Empire Strikes Back. And then you go back in time. You skip episode 1 because it sucks. You go to episode 2, which is Clone Wars.
Yeah.
No, Clone Wars. So Clone Wars, Revenge of the Sith, which is like a flashback to how spoilers
Anakin becomes.
Darth Vader comes about.
Yep.
And then you go to Return of the Jedi.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, that would be.
That makes a lot of
Makes
sense.
sense, yeah.
And then you just ignore all the new stuff. I do too.
I
It's
like the new
entertaining.
stuff, man. Force Awakens. What was that
Yeah,
other
Rogue
one?
One.
No,
Rogue
Rogue
One.
One was a
Jeez,
really
that
good
was
movie.
dark.
Yeah.
but that was not in the
Yeah.
the Skywalker saga.
Yeah, what was it? What they
you
call
will.
it? The canon? Star Wars
Yeah,
canon?
it's canon still, but
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of leads right into episode
Yep.
4,
Which is
Yes.
what I think is
Correct.
designed to do. Yeah.
where that ends.
Now, okay.
Yeah.
anybody watch the the TV stuff for Star Wars though? So
What-
good.
Yes.
Mandalorian.
Todd, I thought you were gonna.
Boba
So
Fett.
good.
I didn't
Oh,
know how,
so good,
how
yeah.
nerdy you were gonna out yourself. Did you watch the cartoons? Yeah.
Clone Wars?
No.
Clone Wars
yeah.
and Rebels.
Heard about him though.
Maybe.
There's no,
I didn't finish it. I didn't watch it all the way through, but I would occasionally watch highlight episodes of characters that I thought were
Right.
interesting.
yeah.
Rebels is good.
Clone Wars is good. They're both very good.
Aren't they coming out with the
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
Um,
next
very
one.
excited
Yep.
for that.
series?
I think this summer.
Yeah, it does.
And I think
Yeah.
it's got Ewan McGregor in it.
Ken, did you watch the Boba Fett yet? Yeah, I think we have
We're
one
watching it
episode left.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
something
just
like that.
tie that back to Marvel for a
Yeah.
second. So speaking of like the father links and like Darth Vader being father, who I'm assuming I'm going to find this out. Who is
Oh,
Star
man.
Wars father?
Shush.
So,
No.
should we? I mean,
No,
it's not
he's-
really a
He's
spoiler.
literally,
No.
he's literally watching Guardians of the Galaxy 2 this weekend.
You're right. In
Let him
3
have it.
days. You're right. You're right.
Live in
Sorry, Drew.
suspense, Drew.
It's all good. It's all good. I was
Drew,
going to say.
DM me later.
I don't want to spoil it for him, but it's also not as good
No.
as one.
Yeah. It's not
Ooh.
Darth Vader is Anakin's father.
I mean, I think 1 was so good because it was such a departure from the tone of previous Marvel movies.
Yeah. Well, that was, yeah. I enjoyed it just from like a pure, this was fun kind of
Yeah.
movie standpoint.
You did,
Yeah.
yeah. You didn't need to be. You
Yeah,
didn't need to
it was
watch all
probably
the
the
others for that one to
Yeah.
like stand alone.
Yeah.
Yep.
and it was probably most appropriate to watch with my 8-year-old daughter, like as
100%.
far as
Yeah.
fun factor and like
Yep.
talking to animals and stuff like that,
Trees.
Trash pandas.
Yeah.
talking trees. Like, been a long time since I watched.
Now, I can tell you that
trees.
the second movie inspired a purchase at our household for decorative purposes. That is a baby Groot. We have
Really?
a little baby Groot guy that sits in our
Aw.
office. So-
Cute.
There you go.
No, he doesn't move.
Does it
but
wiggle?
he's got like the full little Ravager costume and
nice.
everything. So,
That's awesome.
Nice.
well, Ken, man, I can't say enough. Thanks for
Yeah.
joining us. It's been a pleasure racing and chatting
man.
with you for the last few weeks, and we'll definitely cross streams again before we have Miller back on ever. We will definitely
Sure.
have Ken
Yes.
back on. So, everybody.
Miller's going to get us all banned.
Yeah.
You know? Or more like
I mean, if he hasn't
canceled.
yet, is
you
it
know?
possible? I mean, he's been going strong for.
It's like, dude, Miller, you can't say that about women during women's.
He meant it in jest for his defense, but you have to pander to the crowd that he was going to. So everybody that's watching, make sure you check out Ken's podcast with Shane and Chris. Hope everybody has a good day. We'll see y'all on the next one.
Hey, man.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on. Yep.
Suck it, Miller.